Okay, again, this is the equation. We want to solve it. We've already solved it the easy way, right? Now, the equation doesn't always appear in this form, okay? The same equation could look like this. First of all, x minus 7 squared minus 3 equals 0. We expand to x minus 7 times x minus 7 minus 3 equals 0. And we use the distributive law, which is going to give us x squared minus 14x plus 49 minus 3 equals 0, so that x squared minus 14x plus 46 equals 0. Now, if you have this equation, you can solve it using the quadratic formula, right? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all that divided by 2a. Okay? Where, of course, a equals 1, b equals negative 14, and c equals 46. And I'm going to have to square that. Thanks a lot. Okay, so, would you all make me shift the thing 7 for? If I'd have shifted it less, I'd have had an easier number to square. Oh well. Okay, so negative b is negative of negative 14 plus or minus the square root of negative 14 squared minus 4 times 1 times 46. We're going to have a problem with that. Something's wrong here.
7 squared is 49.
Well, 49 minus 3 is 46. Well, let's go on with it. I must be doing something wrong, but that's never happened before, so we're on new ground now. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that I can't multiply. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we have 14 plus or minus the square root of what? I don't have to square 46. I got all excited for nothing. Okay. I've been at this for about 3 hours now. You got to allow me some slack here, but it's no excuse. Okay, we got 196 from squaring 14, right? And 4 times 46, I don't know how I was getting what I was getting. It was ridiculous. But that's minus 184. And we divide that by 2. Okay? Now, I guess we're going to have to go to... Okay, that equals 14 plus or minus the square root of 12. All divided by 2, right? Okay? And 12 is 3 times the square root of 2, isn't it? Now we're doing this type of thing in the NCR, so you know there are videos. Okay, square root of 12 is the square root of 2 times 3, right? Just doing a prime factorization of 12. Or the square root of 2 squared times 3. And that's the square root of 2 squared times the square root of 3, which is 2 times the square root of 3. So that's how I got it. And of course, 2 times the square root of 3 is the same as 3 times the square root of 2. And if you didn't understand that, you ought to look at some MCR videos. Okay. Now, if I divide by 2, and being careful, just to write out the... Okay? And it's 2 square root of 3, not 3 square root of 2.
You meant to write that up there too.
The what?
You have 3 square root of 2 up
Yeah,
there.
I did it. Yeah, I did it twice.
Charge about whatever we want, because there's nothing else in the market.
That's right. Well, it reduces down to 7 plus or minus the square root of 3, doesn't it? Does that look familiar?
Yeah.
Well, whether you, yeah, it depends on how well you remember what you saw before, but there it is, right? Okay, the other thing, how does the quadratic formula give you the axis of symmetry? Now, of course, we know what the axis of symmetry is because we started by shifting the basic squaring function 7 units. The axis of symmetry shifted to x equals 7. But if you didn't know that, and if you had this equation, if you just knew that this was the formula, how would you find the axis of symmetry? Well, you'd write out the quadratic formula. And right there it is. It's this divided by this. That's where x is. This, because this is halfway between the plus and the minus, meaning it's halfway between the 2 zeros of the function. So the function's over there, but you have the 2 zeros and the axis of symmetry right in the middle, right? Okay? Okay, very good.